What is this thing? Approximately 4 feet long, made of mostly metal, but the poles are wood, and the hand crank on it turns every cog. The only visible markings say it was patented on August 20th, 1901. I tried to find it, but the only matching images are from old eBay posts that have been taken down. What would this be used for? It's an antique wire fence machine, a machine for making wire fences. It was patented on August 20th, 1901 by John M. Barber of St. Charles, Illinois. You can use this tool to make barbed wire or smooth and twisted wire fencing too. As it turns out, that first fence-making machine needed very little work to get it operating. Today, most fencing materials are purchased by the roll at the local farm supply store. But that was not the case in the late 1800s, when steel wire first became an attractive alternative to wood fence. These were sold for only a brief period before demand for wire fencing became great enough that manufacturers took note. When the stuff could be bought ready-made, the machines were abandoned. What is this offshore structure southwest of Honolulu? I saw it from an airliner, a few minutes after departing Honolulu for Lihue. I'm guessing it's about 10 to 15 miles southwest of Pearl Harbor. This is not a likely area for oil exploration. The water here is very deep, and I fly this route once or twice a year and have never seen it, so I don't think it's permanent. Sorry for the poor photo. I wish I could give a definite size. It looked at least 30 feet tall and 60 wide, but hard to tell from the air. Larger than a small boat, but smaller than a tanker, and not obviously moving. Any ideas? It's the sea-based X-band radar, a floating, self-propelled, mobile active electronically scanned array early warning radar station designed to operate in high winds and heavy seas. It was developed as part of the United States Department of Defense Missile Defense Agency's Ballistic Missile Defense System. The radar is mounted on a 5th-generation CS-50 twin-hulled semi-submersible oil platform. It is nominally based at Adak Island in Alaska, but has spent significant time at Pearl Harbor in test status. What is this antique heavy wooden hanging swiveling open-ended tapered container acquired at a storage auction? This has been a mystery for years and years, and no one can identify it. Around 28 by 14 by 5 inches at the bottom, 10 inches at the top, and weighs about 30 pounds. The nails all over it look handmade. The wood is heavy and sturdy and reinforced with metal. It does not stand up on its own. It can only be set down on its back or the biggest side. I'm quite stumped. Thank you for looking, and I'm excited to find out what you all think. It's a 19th century wooden harvesting hod. Yours is missing the handle part. The base has definitely been reworked a bit over the years, but it was a hod for vegetables or fruit. Does anyone have a guess what this is? I noticed it in my Windbreak. It says 3M on it by the tip of the pen in one picture. I took a picture of both sides. What you see is all there is to it. I was out of bananas, so I used an ink pen. Any ideas of what it is? It's a 3M electrostatic animal guard. It fits on insulators to discourage animals from climbing insulators and getting to the live end. When an animal touches the spokes, it receives an electric shock, similar to those generated by electrified livestock fences. The electric shock received by the animal does not interrupt the power service, and the animal is not injured. I found this in eastern Washington when I was operating an excavator and moving dirt piles with my dad. It feels slightly heavy, like it's made of metal, but it's not magnetic. It's got a rough surface even after I did my best to wash it off. There's also a stinger on the end of it. Earbud for comparison. Does anyone know what it is? I would say you appear to have found a brass cricket. Lots of people have them by the fireplace for luck. And there's even a Dickens story of it from the Victorian era. In many parts of Europe, crickets were associated with hearth and home. It was said that a cricket living near the hearth would bring good luck and protect the family from harm. If a cricket left the home, it was often considered a bad omen. Over time, brass crickets became popular as symbolic decorations to continue this tradition even without a real cricket present. What is this coin with no denomination I found in my grandfather's things? We only discovered them today when cleaning the attic. It's not the only thing we found with it. My grandpa had a box of them that we think he forgot about. We also found a bloodletting knife and a button off of a coat. This all had to come from Gramps' family. Does anyone have any info? That's a presidential campaign medal for US President William Henry Harrison, most famous for catching pneumonia at his inauguration and dying 30 days later. He served as the 9th President of the United States from March 4th to April 4th, 1841, the shortest presidency in US history. He was also the first US president to die in office, causing a brief constitutional crisis since presidential succession was not then fully defined in the US Constitution. This campaign medal was made by the Scoville Manufacturing Company of Waterbury, Connecticut, around 1841. The Scoville Company was established in 1802 as a button manufacturer and is still in business today. What was this basement door bracket used for? Probably from the 1950s. It looks like the brackets that held the rod to open windows above doors back in the day. Any ideas? It's the bracket for a swing-away can opener. My favorite can opener ever. It was patented on February 22, 1949 by Arthur E. Nelson of University City, Missouri. I don't think there's a can my swing-away can't open. The best one ever made. Does anyone know what this is? My boss says it's for bending pipe, but I don't think so. Any help, idea, or clue is appreciated. It's a slip for pulling the drop pipe out of a well, made by the Chandler Pump Company in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, around the 1920s. You set the stationary die, marked monitor, to the size of the pipe you're pulling, and each time you pull a joint, you can hang the joint below it off on the slip between the stationary and hinged dies. That'll hold it so it doesn't fall back in the well while you unscrew the joint you just pulled. What is this thing my grandma found while cleaning her house? Around 6 centimeters tall, 18 centimeters wide, and 6 centimeters deep. It has a handle at the back, and aside from the numbers on the front, there are no other writings I can find. My first thought was pencils or paintbrushes where the number specified the size or type, but I'm not sure. Any idea what it may be? Please tell us down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Let's make life fun.